Hey everybody, Connor here, normally called Star 6 Wars 1, but this is going to be kind of a different video. Honestly, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to talk about the end of Eva and why I love it so much. It is completely biased, no script is made for it. This is my pure raw thoughts of End of Eva while I rewatch the movie. Now, that being said, I don't know if I'm going to go for the entire movie talking. I'm just going to simply talk. But I'm going to be rewatching the movie while I talk. Also, and just to let you guys know, like I said, no script. Meaning, I hate saying it, but this is just pure raw thoughts. And there probably won't be any editing. I don't know how long this video is going to be at the time of this recording. It could be an hour for all I know. But I just wanted to share with you guys what I thought of Eva unbiasedly. Or biasly, whatever you want to call it. It's a film that's very interesting to me, and I just thought I'd share with you guys my experience with End of Eva. Without the use of a script or anything. Anytime I'll probably do anything with this video is, if I have to cut something out, it's just if I'm silent for a bit. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about my thoughts of the End of Eva. I think what a better way to start with this is, honestly, the fact that the movie is honestly went from my most hated film period to one I genuinely fell in love with. One that I don't know how to explain it. The first time I watched it, I hated this film. Like, I despised it. And then I watched it a few other times because of Brain Scratch Comms, and, well, I became a bit more mixed because I was like, what the fuck do I think of this? And, like, it wasn't until Marvin and Isaac and I rewatched it again a while back that I was like, wow, this is a pretty brilliant film. And then, on my last attempt of rewatching it, bam, it became my favorite film of all time. And it is second only in anime to Full Metal Alchemist. I'm doing this video mainly because I saw HS Media Nerd really love the film, and I'm thinking, hey, I don't know if really people have just seen a totally biased, totally raw thoughts on something they love. No review style, no nothing, just something. And I thought, hey, I want to try and do this. I don't care for how long I go with, but I'm just going to keep going with this. I'm going to sound repetitive, I think, by the end of this, but I don't fucking care. This is just for me. This is just something I wanted to do, and just wow. Actually, the first scene of the End of Eva with Shinji being covered in water, I learned from Marvin, and I love it, and I both love and think that this theory is awful, but Shinji was possibly trying to commit suicide. That is such a depressing note to go out on, but since this takes place just a little after the series when Kaoru died, it makes sense, especially since he has a massive guilt complex from that. He's pretty fucked up by this point. Everyone is by this point in the film. Everything is just kind of falling apart for Nerve, and it's just, wow. This film, like, so much is crammed into this film. Like, I don't even know how many people really got the suicide thing, but like, Marvin got it, and I got it after a while. I'm like, holy shit, he's right. Marvin actually really kind of did open my eyes and allow me to look at this from a different perspective, and I honestly can't thank him enough for that. Because without that, I may not have ever loved Eva like I do, but this film, 87 minutes, according to Wikipedia. It could be longer, but 87 minutes of this film that is so fucking amazing. And just so much was put into this. Just the first scene alone, like, okay, yeah, the Shinji masturbating to Asuka thing, yeah, I'll admit that during my first viewings, I hated that scene. I fucking hated it. But honestly, looking back at it now, I'm like, it makes sense. It makes a horrible kind of sense. Just, ah. Like, the first half of the film is mostly action-based, and it's depressing as fuck. Because you kind of know Nerve has no chance against Saylei's attack. Basically, Seilei will level them out, and most of them end up dead. By just even the first half. Masato's dead, the fortress is under siege, and Ritsuko is gone. Just everything falls apart in the first half. And that's not even going into Asuka. Also, Misato by this point also is disillusioned by what Nerve is trying to do, as well as Seilei. So everything is just coming into play and everything is just falling apart. I love this first half. I'm not even going to lie. It's very action-packed and contains more of what the first half of Eva was. But in a much more depressing in fashion. Nerve by this point is fighting a losing battle, and there's nothing they can do about that. Seilei is actually hinted at the very beginning, but it's a blinking you'll miss it thing, or more so, you won't know it. Just everything about this film. Seilei was introduced, actually, if you see Metal Robot, cyborg dude who shows up much later in the film, it's revealed he's a cyborg, and when he becomes the Tang thing, and he was actually seen in the first episode. He's seen in the opening credits, too. It's kind of hilarious if you think about it. It's like, you think this know-nothing character that appeared maybe once or twice, and then you would think nothing happens with him, but in fact, he's the leader of Seilei, pretty much. And is responsible for everything that goes on in the series. Like, I guess a few other things to note are, like, so much foreshadowing to the future events, so much things. Rei Ayanami appearing right before Shinji in the first scene of Eva, and in the last scene of the end of Eva, she appears again, closing the chapter of Eva Evangelion. It's fucking brilliant. Like, the learning of what Second Impact actually was. And just everything that happens. The fucking soundtrack to this is fucking amazing shit. I'm not even kidding here. Like, the music here is tense, just depressing, it is hopeful, it's everything it needs to be. Calm Caesar Todd is by far the best piece, but I'll explain a little more in a little bit, but my favorite piece is actually not Calm Caesar Todd, but a piece that plays a little after it. But I'll explain that in a little bit. For now, I'm just going to go back to whatever thing I was doing with this. I'm praising the hell out of this movie. I don't fucking care. Like, also, I just gotta mention this because I just thought of this. Fuck the dub. The dub for this is awful. Like, I mean, it is genuinely really bad. Like, the original series had its down moments, but this was awful. It's one of the worser dubs I've ever heard in retrospect, especially when you compare it to the sub, which is fucking great. I love it so much. Oh, except for the dub. That can go die in a fire. everything in this film, conclusions to characters like Ritsuko, Masato, Gendo, Asuka, Rei, fucking Shinji. He's inactive for the entire first half because of basically post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever, from killing Kaoru, and just stress level and everything just kind of collapsing in and of his mind. Many theorized about the events of the original episode 25 and 26 from the original series playing out in Shinji's head during that scene. And I don't know, like, it doesn't 100% fit. Nor really does anything. Also, Ritsuko's mother is a computer. I am not even joking. It's weird. Or at least, kind of, the computer was made in her image. Yeah, and that comes to backfire Ritsuko later on. And it also results in bye-bye Ritsuko and probably the scene that another one of the Eva scenes that everyone makes fun of. The one where Gendo goes, Ritsuko, the truth is. And then nothing happens and it's like, and she's like, you liar. And she dies. Oh my god. Oh, there's so much Eva shit here. Like, I know I'm going on and on about this, and it's gonna be like this forever. I'm gonna ramble here. But that's how this series is. You just fucking ramble. I don't even know how to explain it. And I'm gonna sound so fucking long-winded after this, because I'm just fucking spoiling everything. Just holy fuck. Like, there's so much to love about this series. I mean it. Also, when I make this as an eventual video, because I'm not changing the image at all. You probably realize this by now that I'm saying this, but I'm saying this here. I'm not changing the picture just because this is just me talking. Consider this like a solo man podcast of sorts, if you want to. I don't care, but this is the thing I just wanted to ramble on about without any hesitation, without any script, without any notes, nothing. This is my pure, raw thoughts on the entire series. Also, the Asuka scene is probably one of her best. Yes, I'm going all over the place. I don't fucking care. The Asuka scene where she battles the angels and earth forces, that's just awesome. And it's awesome to see Asuka's character just get over her depression and her catatonic state and just come back even more badass than she ever was in the series. And get over the fact that she has a lot of mommy issues. For good reason, since the Eva is her mother. Yes. Her soul, more specifically. Her mind and body were still intact, unlike Shinji's mother, who was totally absorbed by the Eva. But Asuka's Eva's soul is the mother's, but not so much the mind or the body. And it results in Asuka having a lot of mommy issues. Kind of a similar comparison is to Shinji having both mommy and daddy issues. Actually, in that respect, Gendo and Shinji's relationship is sour. And honestly, if the series is anything to go by, it was beyond repair. Like, let's put it this way. He wanted nothing to do with Shinji up until we realized that Gendo was just kind of running away from him because he was scared and didn't know how to handle her. And then we have Shinji, who... Shinji's format was, I mustn't run away every single time he spoke. But, and in many respects, he did run away a little bit, but he tried his best to return each time. He's kind of like a boomerang of sorts. He may run away, but he would always come back. Even in the movie, that's true, especially during the apocalypse. Yeah, I know I'm spoiling shit, but I don't care. When he creates the apocalypse, it's almost, the apocalypse is his way of running away. And then when he revives humanity, that's his way of almost being like, okay, I'm not going to run away anymore. I'm going to just do this, even though I know it's going to hurt. That is such a great message. Like, you mustn't run away from the problems. You gotta face them. That is such a great theme. I fucking love it. Just amazing and shit. And we don't ever get a resolution for whether he will keep true to his promise or not. That could be solved by the remainder of the rebuilds, but honestly, I wouldn't see that coming at all. The rebuilds are kind of bad, and the more I'm looking at them, especially rewatching End of Eva as we speak, yeah, they're kind of terrible. It took me this long to kind of realize how terrible they are, but it's like, yeah, holy shit, the rebuilds are fucking terrible. Oh, why did I consider 3.0 my favorite entry in the franchise? Genuinely asking that. I think with Eva I was kind of dumb when I was originally like that, because it's like, I was too new into anime, and in my original time of watching it, I was going through some kind of hard times and really wasn't ready to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion or End of Eva. I, one, just got off of Gurren Lagann, and two, I hate saying it, but at the time I just wanted to pick me up. Neon Genesis Evangelion, for that kind of thing, was anything but. So it turned out very badly for me, and resulted in me hating and having weird thoughts on it for about 2 years. Because I originally watched it in 2013. Or at least I think, it was 2013 I watched it. And 2015 is when I rewatched it and fucking loved it. It also goes to show how much I've changed as a person too. I originally didn't really relate with the characters, or if I did, I didn't like what I saw in them. But in a way, and this is gonna sound weird, in accepting a bit more of what I am, despite not always liking it, I kind of grew to like Eva more the more I realized my own tastes. The more I realized that I related to Shinji a great deal, because we both have massive guilt things, and sometimes I feel like I have a tendency to run away from things I don't like, either emotionally or anything like that. And I feel like I really do relate to Shinji. I really relate to all the characters, even just a little bit. It's the common theme of running away from your problems and trying to face them. I try my best to face them. I try, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. And I related to Shinji's shyness too. Like, I know I say a lot of big things, and yeah, I'm become well known in the community, but I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always just talking about... Where was I trying to go with this? Oh yeah, I just genuinely thought... everything about this. Like, yeah, I know I'm rambling on. Yeah, I know I'm getting a little stuttered, but that's kind of what End of Eva does to me. It's like, I'm long-winded, but I don't always have the most to say about this, but just, god damn it, this film! There's nothing quite like the film. Everything about this film is just amazing. Like, I mentioned that when I saw HSB and really love it, it was like, it almost put a spark in me to just talk about Eva full blown without any sort of script, just biased talk. And yeah, I said it, it's bias. It is biased as hell. 667, serious? Wow, I didn't fucking even notice that. What the fuck? Like, there's so much things. This is my 11th time rewatching End of Eva. And yes, I know I'm watching in the background. I know it's kind of not anything to do, but it's like, there's still little things I never noticed, even 10 times in. Oh my god. Back to the whole running away theme. I relate to that a lot. I relate to Shinji's shyness and Shinji's both wanting to be accepted by others, and I do relate to his whole... I relate to everything. It's just... Like, I know and I'm pretty friendly at times. I try my best to be. At least, I try everything, but it's just everything that sometimes I do feel like I'm Shinji. Especially in things like junior high, and even to an extent high school. I felt like Shinji before. I relate to his character, and originally I thought it was a negative, but now I think it's a huge positive. Because, just, wow. I can relate to him. I can understand his point of view now, and not in a forced way either. Like, it's just amazing to me. I know it's not much, but it's like, it's amazing to me. Again, I know I'm just talking a lot. I know I'm probably gonna sound like a huge thing, but it's like, yeah, I want to just talk. I want to get all my bias towards this movie out. Because the more I'm thinking about it right now, at least, even if it's just for a few days, even if it's just for one day, even if it's just for just tonight, I think End of Eva may actually surpass even Full Metal. You will never hear me say that again. But yes, I think that's might be what's going on. I might think that End of Eva is my favorite piece of media, period. Like, I'm actually genuinely serious. Or at least in terms of a movie. This movie, just so many themes. Asuka's revelations of and resolutions of her issues with her mother. Gendo's running away and being afraid to take care of Shinji and wanting in a form redemption. Shinji's self-hatred. Something I can relate to too. Shinji in general. Everything about Shinji in this film. Him becoming the hero I think he was meant to be. It's not the one I think he wanted to be, but it was the one he was meant to be. Ultimately, he decides that he does like humanity and everything. It's just, I'm amazed. This film. The more I talk about it, like, yeah, I know this is me just probably rambling on to you guys, but to me, this is getting everything out of why I love this film. I don't need to have a script to tell you why I love the film. I can just explain it all while watching the movie, just returning to everything that made me loving it. Its psychological aspects, its character studies, the pure heart that went into this. The thing that I now search for in anime, their hearts. The thing. I want to see more anime like End of Eva. I want to see more anime like Full Metal Alchemist. I want to see more anime that you can tell the heart and soul of the creators went into this. They made this thing the best thing they could do. Pure and raw emotion. That's what I want to see in anime now. That is everything I want to see in anime. It just, my God. It's End of Eva that I really realized this is what I want in anime. And I've realized I want to see more passion and love. Gurren Lagann and End of Eva were the ones that made me realize this. Just everything. I know I'm sounding like a broken record with this, but it's an amazing film. Its themes, every single one of its themes, it's fucking great. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I don't care. This is my pure, unfiltered thoughts on End of Eva. And just, oh my God. Wanting to just talk about my favorite film of all time. Something I started originally hating. I hated this film for the longest time, and now I fucking love it. I think it's the best anime film and the best film I've ever seen. The execution. It resolves everything in Eva. It makes everything it to me is perfect. It's the perfect film. It's, in many respects, it's the perfect anime. Nothing tops this. How can you top this? How can you top something this groundbreaking, something this everything? There's nothing you can do to ever do that. Just everything. Shinji, I'm genuinely wanting to cry at this moment. Like, just because I'm going with full unadulterated thoughts, I honestly want to cry. Because I'm just that enthralled by this. And just wanted to get everything unbiased. It's fucking great. Like, you have no idea if you've never seen it. And maybe some of you are aware, but this is just me talking. This is just me giving everything of what I think of this film. Just talking in general. Just, like, I don't even know if you guys care if you see this video or not by this point. If you're at this point, I'm fucking impressed with you guys, because I've gone on for about half an hour, I think, by this point. But I wanted to just go into it and just love it and everything. I just wanted to share with you guys why I love this film. Like, I know it's gonna be a while, but fuck it. I don't care. This is my unadulterated thoughts and my pure biasm to my favorite film of all time. Like, this surpassed something that I thought would never be surpassed. I thought Star Wars Episode 6 would always remain my favorite film of all time, but no. Then comes End of Eva, which trashes it. And now here we are, rewatching Eva, and just being like, wow. I love this piece I love everything. I guess to continue onward, and I'm actually going to explain my favorite scene in End of Eva in general. It's the scene where, after all the psychological events happen, just a piece, I think, Jesus something or other, I can't remember the full name. It plays while Shinji looks at our world. Looks at everything and just makes all the realizations himself about how he can't run away from everything and how this world is. How his world is just... It's the resolution to everything. It's the conclusion to everything. That is my favorite scene. The Jesus thing is also my favorite soundtrack piece in Eva, by the way. With Com Scissor Tot as a very close second. it feels so hopeful. It feels so raw. There's nothing like Eva. It's like, oh my god. Just everything about this film. Like, I know I'm gushing by this point. But guys, you gotta understand that I'm gushing because that's how I feel about this film. But just wow. It's not the most complex, or it's not the most deep, or it's End of Eva is just End of Eva. Like, there's nothing more you can do for that. It's just brilliant. It is unique. It is the one thing that is. It's amazing. That's what it is. I know. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that this is the best film ever, or do you think it's trash? Because guess what? Everyone has a different thought of End of Eva. Every single person who has ever seen this, I think, has a slightly different opinion on it. Hell, I think, even though Marvin is the one who made me see End of Eva for what it really is, I've had to form my own opinions of it. I've had to form what this thing means to me. And I've realized it means everything. It's a completing thing. It's something that I genuinely love. It's something that... It's the anime that... Gurren Lagann, and Fullmetal Alchemist are the three that made me realize what I want out of anime. Passion. Something that I think is truly lacking in a lot of shows of today. That's why I want to see that passion again. I want to see them reach the heights that these three shows for me reached. That these three things reached. End of Eva, even if it's just for this commentary, End of Eva really is truly my favorite piece of media. My favorite anime is Fullmetal Alchemist. But for me, at least, End of Eva goes beyond anime. It goes beyond film. It's masterful. It's artful. It's everything. It's End of Eva. Nothing is like this. Nothing has ever been like this. Nothing will ever be like this again, if the rebuilds are anything to show by it. It's not perfect, but that's what makes it brilliant. It's imperfectly perfect. It's the film that I just love. How can you top something that truly is so unique that everyone has a different thought on it? How can you top everything that just this movie is? It is whatever it wants itself to be. It's the greatest film of all time, in my opinion. It's a masterpiece. There is nothing like it. There never will be anything like it, I think. But I want to see something prove me wrong. No anime at this moment has proven me wrong. Maybe one day there will be. I hope to God there will be, because it's brilliant. I want to see anime become more like End of Eva. Go beyond what I just think of it as a anime. I want to see the passion that End of Eva has. Yeah, it can be kind of fucked up sometimes. Yeah, it can be kind of depressing sometimes. Yeah, it can be hopeful and given so much, these themes, everything. This is Hideki Anno's heart and soul going into a work. This is the creative team's heart and soul going into a work. Something that can never truly be surpassed. A work of the heart. That's what I view End of Eva as. It is a work of the heart. And something that can never, ever again be replicated. Like, I probably sound like I'm going all emotional, you guys, and it's kind of true. It's about accepting or acceptance. Just, it's about everything. It's End of Eva. That's what it is. It's End of Eva. It is a masterpiece. It's my favorite piece of media. Even if it's just for this video, it is my favorite piece of media. Not even going above and beyond that. I want very badly to find Eva. I don't know if you guys will experience it the same way I do. Probably not. And honestly, that's fine. Don't experience it the same way I did. Experience it for yourself. Form your own opinions of it. Don't look to other people to form opinions of Eva. Form your own. That's all you need to do. Just form your own opinions of a work that truly is masterful. That truly means something. Yeah, some aren't going to like it, and yeah, I get it, but here's the thing. You could potentially just love it anyways. You could see it from a point of view that just sees it as the potential that it has for everything. That's what it is. There's so much love I have for this film. And so much I could say, so much more. I could say what the themes are. I could talk about them in full-on depth. I could talk about Rey and her involvement. I could talk about Gendo's character. I could talk about everything Eva related, but that's just it. There's so much more that could be said, and so much that doesn't need to be said. At the end of the day, End of Eva is just that. End of Eva. A masterpiece. A perfect work. A perfect movie. It is everything that it sets out to be. It is the best piece of media I've ever seen. It is my favorite piece of media ever. Even surpassing Full Metal in some ways. Yes, Full Metal, but that is a very debatable thing, because sometimes I'll probably think Full Metal is my favorite, or at least 03. It's going to flip-flop, I think, between the two. They're equals in many respects. Even for just this video, though, End of Eva is my favorite piece of media. And rewatching it now makes me realize how true that is. Rewatching it, even though I'm not finished, but yeah. Everything about this work of fiction, it's so grand and great. Everything about it. I don't know. Maybe I've rambled on too long, but that's still how I'm seeing it. I see it as a perfect media piece. Only Full Metal and this are the only two things. End of Eva is truly something to behold. End of Eva is just that. End of Eva. Something grand, something great. I don't have much else to say that I haven't already said, except it's just the perfect work in many respects. It is Like, I know I've probably rambled on too long, and I know I've probably gone on too long for you guys' taste, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. Hopefully you'll comment, like, or whatever. I don't really care, because in this case, that's just it. I just want to see what you guys think. Do you think the same way I do? Do you think it's weaker than that? Do you think it's stronger than that? What do you guys think? What is End of Eva to you guys? Because to me, it's the best piece of media I've ever seen. And it will always remain that way, I think. If I'm surpassed by that thought, I'll gladly accept that. But if not, End of Eva and Full Metal Alchemist 3 are my favorite pieces of media. And at least for End of Eva, I've explained why. I hope you guys have enjoyed this piece. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. See you guys then.